Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I'm got kind of a hello, Chuck Schreiber. I see you've just joined in. How are you doing, sir? Good to see you. And while I've greeted a bunch of folks in the chat already, hello to JD and John at Schuylkill River Valley and Anthony Dodge and James at Dundas River Junction. I run games and trains. Hello, how are you doing? I don't recognize your name. Maybe even on the stream before. If so, sorry, but it's good to see you. It's good to see you. And I'll get this kicked off properly in 3 minutes. Okay, so you can hear me, James. Thank you. I'm never quite sure of that, with my tech setup, and for some reason I feel compelled to be constantly changing my technology. Not a great, not a great idea. Okay, I run games. Good to know. That's a great channel. N-Scale Dystopia is a great channel. That's good to know the link there. That's he does great stuff there for sure. For sure. Okay, I see we've got 17 folks on board. If you're in the chat and if you're watching the stream and you're not in the chat, please at least just say hi quickly, even if you don't want to participate on a regular basis, so that we know you're out there and we can say hi. We like to include everybody we can. Hello, Godfather, Raybo Bell. I saw you joining in there. There he is. So good evening, sir. You're not late. We still got 2 minutes before we begin. So good to see you. Dave at Carolina Foothills. What's going on? I'm in the Carolinas, so I've been thinking about you. And you might be able to help me with the short line I plan on doing a little talking about that I saw. So, Tom Grossi, how are you, sir? Good to see you. I'm planning on doing a little talking about 3D printing today, maybe a lot. And so I look forward to your input. I really do. Russ, Rockin' O and HO Trains. Good to see you, Russ. How are you today? Hope everything is well. Mason-Dixon Railroad. Hello, sir. Boxcar Jerry. Good to see you, Boxcar Jerry. You came up several times in discussions today with non-YouTube, non-model railroading friends. So good to see you there. Really good to see you. Joe Rader. How are you, sir? I hope all's well. Do you have that new puppy, Joe? And if so, how is it going with the new puppy? And what is the puppy's name? I won't be probably coming down to Timonium this year, and so I will miss meeting the puppy in person if it's there. Nice. I see Ray's making some progress on scenery. That's awesome. That is awesome. John, Big Friendly Giant Railroad, good to see you. Good to see you. Always love your channel name. Have always loved your channel name. So that is great. That is great. All right. Well, here we are. It's 8 o'clock. Well, Ray, I'm confident it's going to look good. And boy, it'll be done in time for the meet and greet at Timonium and all the folks coming to your house. So that is awesome. So I think James Galton confirmed that you all can hear me. So we're up to 27 folks. Again, Midsummer Railway, good to see you, sir. If you see me kind of looking over the side, it's because I'm looking at a tablet with the chat on it. And I'm using Prism Live instead of StreamYard, and so I don't have a list of attendees. So I'm just trying to keep up with the chat and recognize everybody as they join. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I haven't recognized 27 people. So if you're out there, please, just do a quick comment just so we know you're out there and we can say hi to you. We want to know you. We don't necessarily. I mean, if you want to lurk and you're comfortable lurking, that's fine too, of course. That's right, James. No duck. No duck. Oh, and again, I talked to my non-streaming, non-YouTube friends about that today and how you had shown the duck during the when we took a photo together. You had a stuffed duck to tease me about my anti-StreamYard position. So. Hello, Pete at Delft Junction. Good to see you, sir. I see there's at least one new name. So where am I and what's going on today? So first, I am streaming off of a laptop, which is a laptop that my company basically gave me when I left back in February of this year, and it doesn't have the greatest processor. So what I plan to do and what I'm going to try to do today might fail. Because I plan on running Prism Live. I have to run YouTube in order for this to all work. And then I want to run some other programs. So I guess my ask of the crowd is, if I freeze up, let me know in the comments. And I will shut down whatever program was freezing this laptop. So I am traveling today. My wife doesn't think we travel enough, but I pointed out to her that I've been doing this live stream once a month for less than a year, and this is the second stream that I've had to do with us traveling. So, that's 15% at least of the time traveling. Pretty extensive. So, okay, good. Thank you, Dave at DB Tech, for commenting on my video quality. I appreciate that, and good to see you this evening, sir. And thank you for coming on. Hey, Hot Dog Pilot Andy. Great to see you, Andy. Thank you. Good morning, I guess, is the correct comment for you, Andy. Thanks for being out here. So I've got a hodgepodge of topics that I'm going to talk about today. Right now, I am in Durham, North Carolina. And I've got to say, I know Wigwag is on here and Wigwag Workshop is on here. Ron Moen, I missed you when you stepped in, sir. Good to see you. Life of Roscoe, welcome, welcome. Good to see you, sir. I hope I haven't missed anybody. Hello, Rich Trains. I think I acknowledged your presence earlier, but it's good to see you as always. I think I've caught everybody who's on the stream so far. So we're in Durham, North Carolina. I heard a train whistle. So I know there's some train action here, but I haven't found it, and I haven't really had the opportunity to go looking for it. However, we did go out to the Pinehurst Golf Course, which is over an hour away from here, Pinehurst number 2. And when we did that, we encountered a short line dinner train out there, as well as a modern train that had been converted into a bar in track parallel to the dinner train. And I'll show you some pictures of that. And hi, Deep Run Mike. Good to see you, sir. Welcome aboard. Always good to see you. 38 folks in the chat on the stream. That's great to see. So that's kind of where we are. Wigwag. My one request of our friends on the culinary side was that we have some Carolina barbecue, because as much as I like the food in Pittsburgh, barbecue is not a specialty up there. And so I wanted to have that, and I wanted to have that vinegar-based Carolina barbecue sauce, and they came through with that. We got some barbecue at a place called the Original Q Shack here in Durham, and it was outstanding. That's correct. That's correct, Dave. The Aberdeen, Carolina, and Western, and I have not had an opportunity in the 24 hours since I saw it to do any research on it. So you can help me. I've got some pictures to show, but I don't know a lot of the history or even about what they do. I could see they were setting up a dinner train. So at any rate, had some great Carolina barbecue, and I'll probably have some good Carolina barbecue when I'm done with this stream. So it has been really great. So now I am going to make some changes to my screen here so that I can share my screen and start sharing some material. So I'm going to shrink myself up in the corner. I'm going to minimize this and then I'm going to hopefully, if I can figure all this out here. I think I just clicked on the wrong tab. There we go. And I'm going to start a little slideshow here. And this is the, I've talked about this project before. This is the bench from Esther's Hobby Shop. And as you can see, I finished it. I don't know if I've actually shown a picture of the completed project or not before. Delft Junction, it is not super spicy. It's a little spicy, but I like that that vinegar-based sauce has a little tang to it that is really refreshing. It's really good. Nothing beats Primanti Brothers Life at Roscoe. Yeah, you know, the old sandwich with the French fries is a is a classic. It is a classic. Yeah, thank you, JP. Oh, and welcome, JP. I don't think I recognized you before. Good to see you here. Yeah, the bench I think came out very, very well. And actually, the neighborhood drunk was sleeping on it the other day before my lights came on. I hadn't adjusted the lights at my shop. They weren't coming on, and he was sleeping on it. I think when the lights came on, he left. And I plan to relocate the bench to the street area of the shop fairly soon. But the update that I wanted to share here was this is a picture of Bob to the left, Bob Jr., and Bob Sr. to the right, and the little girl is another member of their family. But Bob Sr. Passed away within the last couple of years in his 90s, and he ran the shop. And Bob Jr. is now running the shop on a part-time basis. He's still got a full-time job. And, oh, did you? Hey, Rusty at Possum Bayou. Good to see you. And I bet that barbecue festival was great. Let us know what your favorites were. So this is Bob Jr. and Bob Sr. in their hobby shop. They have a lot of N scale. That's really their speciality. And if you're in Pittsburgh, I strongly recommend going to them. They're in the little town of Millvale, which is quite charming and has an excellent brewery called Strange Roots, and they have some really interesting stuff there to drink. So that's good. But what I wanted to show you, the latest update is I went to the shop, and here I am returning the original templates. They have a bench that looks very much like mine out in front of the store, and they loaned me the templates in order to do this, and so to do this project. And here, this is me returning the templates to the store. So that was kind of my update about the bench project. I can say that my other update is about my shop space. Is some of you have probably seen that I've been doing a saying every week on a kind of a letterboard that's part of the outside signage for the store, for the storefront rather. And unfortunately, I decided I was going to refurbish the sign, and I was going to start with the part I could reach. And so I pulled out the fiberglass panels that hold the letters, and I found that the internal structure of the sign was completely rotted. It's steel tubing in there, completely rotted away in several places. Hello, Dwight. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by, sir. I appreciate it. I am going to be talking a little bit about 3D printing, and so your advice and participation will be welcome when I get to that part of the presentation. So the letterboard part of the sign is completely rotted through. When I took out a couple of screws, water just poured out that was standing inside the metal tubing. So not surprising that that fell apart completely. So I've got to figure out what to do with that part of the sign. And oh, Kyle Stevens, good to see you here too, sir. Thank you for stopping by. Good to see you. So I'm probably going to take that whole sign down. I don't think I'm going to rebuild it. It's basically being held together by there was some thin aluminum sheeting skinning it around, and that really was holding the whole thing together. I don't think I want to rebuild it with pressure treated lumber, so I think I'm just going to tear it down. But we'll see. I've got to get through that. So again, good to see you, Kyle. All right, so let me go to my next. Next, I'm going to talk about the. Whoops. I need to scroll down here. You know, in addition to having a laptop, which I've not done streaming with before, I don't have a proper pointing device for the laptop, so I have to use the touchpad, and I am not a fan of the touchpad. Not a fan at all. All right, so my next topic is about this caboose. So I went to, and I'm seeking your advice, your knowledge from the community about what this caboose is. I went to an estate sale. Boxcar Jerry gave me some slack. Hello, Pappy at Trigoglin. How are you doing? Pappy, you might have been to this location where this boxcar is located. This boxcar is located in California, Pennsylvania. And I can tell you, when you ask Google Maps to navigate to an address on Pennsylvania Avenue in California, Pennsylvania, it just freaks out. I can't figure out what is going on. Thank you, Kyle. Wabash Railroad caboose. I mean, it just looks strange. That cupola is really interesting, different structure. And that's right, it is California, Pappy. And so I just thought this was really cool. They have and I'm just going to skip through my pictures here of this particular caboose. I guess it's a shame that it is, it's not painted in Wabash colors. My wife has a family connection with Wabash, and so it would be great to have seen it in Wabash. Hello, Dan's Model Railroad Journey. Good to see you, sir. Welcome aboard. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. And so I just did a walk around of this caboose, not knowing whether it was something really crazy or not. Boy, that I assume that chimney is for the stove inside there. That looks pretty unusual. If somebody can tell me what that is, I would appreciate it. I'm not really knowledgeable about this particular, but it's a pretty well preserved example, honestly. And you know, I don't know what their plan is there in the town of California to what they're going to do with this, but it's this is the depot, and the depot. So the depot is very well preserved, and I guess my question to the community is. Yes, the depot is still a library, Pappy, at the other end. Is this a Wabash pattern depot? Is this a Wabash pattern depot or not? I don't know. But it's pretty well preserved. It's a classic depot, and there are some tracks there. No trains went by when my wife and I were in the town of California, but it was really it was a nice visit. It was a nice Sunday, it was Saturday rather, a nice Saturday in the town of California. They have a school there, a college there. Yeah, Andy, I'm assuming that that is what that, again, hopefully the community can tell us whether that strange stovepipe there is in fact a stovepipe and is for the stove inside the caboose. Now, Campy's Pizza, I see being discussed in the comments. Is Campy's in California, Pennsylvania? If so, I missed that. I don't think we had a meal there, but the town of California was really quite charming, and given that it has the university, it would probably be a pretty cool place to live. The university and railroads. That Okay, Kyle. Yeah, I don't know. It's a kind of a classic depot design. I don't know if I have any more shots of that. I guess I had another shot of the caboose as I finished my walk around here. Some great weathering streaks on there that, because I don't know, I mean, this white and red pattern, was that something that the Wabash used, or is that something else? I really don't know. But again, it was just a cool thing to run into. You know, you go to a town in order to go to an estate sale, and you see a caboose and a depot like this, you have to take pictures, right? So, thank you, Jerry, PRR Station. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate that. Yeah, Andy, the cupola was very strange to me as well. With those curved edges, it looks like it's, not made in the typical riveted style. So I don't know how they made that. Did they cast that? I don't know why it... Okay, Russ. Well, I'm glad you're watching on your phone or not. So thanks for being here. Good luck with your project and keeping us on in the background. And there's a bench in California, just proving that that's where I was. In California, Pennsylvania. So, okay. So, yeah, that was an interesting find. So the next thing I'm going to show is my overall track plan for my railroad. This is in a previous stream, I kind of asked for people's input onto my track plan, my overall track plan. And so this is the one that I selected, and I partly selected it because people are going to be entering down in the bottom right-hand corner of this view, and I want them to come in and see some interesting stuff. And I think seeing the train going around that end blob is going to be pretty interesting with the way I scenic it. And so I think, and we'll only be a few steps further up before you get to a place where you can go kind of into the layout and be surrounded by trains. And so that's kind of why I sorry, let me get that square out of your view. And so, I mean that cross. And so this is what I selected. As you can see, down in the lower left-hand corner is where my wife's office is going to be. That'll be set up with some office partitions, and I'm sure it'll be carpeted and be. I'm not planning on building curtain walls there, although I could potentially do that. Now, one of the things that these you should note about this plan is the squares are 18 inches. And the lines on this plan do not represent the outside of the benchwork. They represent the main line of the railroad. And so the way it's drawn now, you can see there's only 36 inches between the back wall of the space, which is at the top of the picture, and the track. Hey, Steve 87th, I'm glad you're here to say hi. And I guess you can be forgiven for placing your home team Mariners ahead of Sidetrack Sunday. So good luck to you there. once the Yankees got eliminated, I really didn't have a rooting interest in the baseball. Although pulling for Toronto for all of our friends up in Toronto, like James Galton, absolutely, absolutely. So you can see I'm going to have to squeeze this plant down a little bit, because if I add 6 inches or a foot to the outer dimensions of this for the scenery and the rest of the layout, I'm going to have 2 narrow aisles. So I'm going to have to squeeze some things down a little bit here to the extent that I can. Keep in mind, yeah, Life with Roscoe, all this space is a blessing and a curse, right? I mean, I don't want to fill it all completely. I could do an around the wall layout, but that would be absolutely huge, and yeah, I would never finish it. So I've decided to do a island layout, a big island layout, and exactly, Dave, I need to leave enough room. So there's going to be a center divider in between these tracks, and it is basically going to be it's going to be a giant shelf layout. So that's the plan as it stands right now. I'm going to have to do a little more tweaking with it, but what it allowed me to do, and you can see the dimensions there. It's in inches, and I'm still struggling with any rail a little bit. But well, Life with Roscoe, you could. That's still a decent amount of space. I wouldn't. So this is part of the reason this is so big, is because I don't know how many of you recall this, but those end blobs are 41-inch radius curves. So that end blob is going to be huge, right? So supporting that end blob, it's going to be relatively easy to support a lot of the layout, because the track, it's going to be 36 inches wide at the most, the entire table, with 18 inches on either side of the center divider. But the end blobs and the turns are going to be pretty massive. And so I'd like to hear from you all what you think about. I've designed a way that I think that can be supported, and I'll get to that in a minute. I think I've got a materials list here somewhere. Okay, so those of you who use any rail know. Randall Ellison, good to see you. I apologize that I have not watched your 4th video on your locomotive project, but I will. Been traveling, been pretty busy, but I'm looking forward to seeing number 4 in that. So JP, you're saying I could curve the long straight section along the top in order to increase. Boy, you're almost speaking Greek to me there, JP. So send me an email. I know you've got my email. Or do a little bit more. Yeah, I think those straightaways, Jerry, there will be some gentle curves in there. That's a very good point, sir. But just based on, and what I'm planning on doing is just laying down, as you all know, I'm going to be doing dead rail or power on board. Oh, I see, Roscoe. I see Life with Roscoe. That could be a limiting factor to a certain extent. Deep Run Mike, I am modeling the Gulf Coast. And so there's not going to be a lot of elevation change. And so I don't want to, I'm not really going to be able to stack track or have things crossing over each other, and that's not really my intention. Really, my intention is to make a really long shelf layout. That's going to be fairly flat. But as those of you who do any rail and know any rail better than me, and if you use any rail at all, you probably know it better than me, you do get a list of material that's required. And I was laying this out with FlexTrack, micro engineering concrete tie FlexTrack, because I plan to have my Good evening, Floyd. Good to see you. I'm sure if my wife was here, she would say hello, Floyd. Good to see you. Um, but this is the track count here that I got, and the length of the main line is 168 feet. That's without gentle. Jerry, there will be industries, and I will be widening out certain areas to accommodate industries, so there will be switching. I'm primarily a run trains and watch them go through nice scenery guy, but there will be industries. And my first table that I've already built is going to be a auto transshipment spot with switching. So Kyle, I'm a freelance guy, so I'm modeling the PK&W Railroad that runs from the Tampa Bay area to the Galveston area. And the Pohoy Karankawa are two native indigenous peoples, one of whom, the Pohoy, lived in the Tampa Bay area, and the Karankawa lived in the Galveston area. And so their name translates as dog lovers. And so since I'm a dog lover, that was an easy name to settle on. And so the railroad will basically run around the entire Gulf Coast from Tampa to Galveston and back. That's the kind of overall plan. But that allows me to have a variety of industries, especially intermodal shipping and that sort of thing, which I love and want to model. So there'll be intermodal, and certainly auto transshipment is part of that process. So this gave me just a rough idea. I didn't, until I did the track plan in AnyRail, and I got this list of materials, I just didn't really know the full scope of the project and what materials I needed to order. So the 168-foot main line, I knew I'd need at least 150 feet of flex track, and so I ordered 50 feet of flex track. I could not find micro-engineering concrete tie flex track anywhere, and so I ended up getting Pico at a fairly good price from Iron Planet Hobbies. So I now have that. So I have 150 feet of flex track. And so my overall plan is that I'm now going to start building benchwork and getting the benchwork covered with some of the foam that I salvaged from the shop, the workshop area of the shop, and getting some trains running, getting some power on board units constructed and running on that cold rail around the layout. That's my middle term objective here. If I don't get too distracted with 3D printing, scenicking a particular module or something like that, So that's my objective. And so so this was very helpful, and it let me know what I needed to buy. I think I'm just going to tack the flex track down directly to the pink foam, just so I can have a loop of track running around the layout. That's my plan. Let me know in the comments what you all think of that and how I should do that. I'm thinking I just might use a few dabs of silicone caulk or something. True enough, Kyle. Tom, I did not use that discount, but it was on sale already, so I'm not sure the discount code would have worked. Because it was on sale, but I'll remember that in the future, because that would have saved me $40, so that would have been nice. That would have bought my barbecue dinner down here in North Carolina. So let me. Unfortunately, my drawings of the table plan for Now, I apologize. I don't think I can make this any bigger. So it's kind of small, but you'll at least be able to get an idea. So what I did was I laid out again in AnyRail my plan for tables. And again, I apologize. I know this is small, and if I had a mouse, I think I might be able to zoom in on this, but I don't. But these are kind of the rectangular tables that I laid out that would be supporting the track, and that I'll then be putting on top of these tables I'll probably build them with L-girder construction, unlike the straightaways, which I think are just going to be flat top tables. Oh, okay, Mike. Well, maybe I'll give them a call. Um, and so I'll use L-girder construction, so I'll be able to stretch the girders whatever way I want off of these tables in order to support the thin plywood skin that I'm going to have as the first layer of the layout. So I'm going to have 1/4-inch plywood, and then I'm going to have 2-inch pink foam on top of that. That's going to be my structure. And I'm thinking small tables like these, which you can see, the longer ones are 72 inches long, the shorter ones, there are 3 of them that are roughly 35, so I'll probably make them 36 inches long. And I can stand those up and then essentially skin the tops of them with a 1/4-inch plywood, and then put my build my supports for first, after the girders are up, build my vertical supports for the scenery block. Hello, Jeff's Train World. Good to see you here. Welcome aboard. Then I'll have pink foam on top of that. Now these tables, I don't know, what do you all think? These tables are roughly, a foot wide. So I don't know if they're gonna, maybe, I guess once they have the plywood, I'm hoping once the plywood is on top of them, they will support each other and it will be stable enough. But because keep in mind, this is going to be probably 100 inches in diameter by the time I'm done. And so it's huge. It's huge. It'd be nice to have the inside be left open so that I can store things in there, and my wife and I can store things in there. But at any rate, that's my preliminary plan for how the tables are going to be laid out underneath the layout in order to support the end blobs for my layout, which is obviously a giant dog bone. It's just a giant dog bone. So let me know either in the comments here or later when you have a chance to think about it, about how you think I should be supporting this giant end blob. I've never really had to tackle something like this. It's not a conventional layout structure, so I'm struggling a little bit with that, but that's my current plan. So now I'm going to divert to the short line that I saw yesterday. So this is the Aberdeen, Carolina, and Western. It sounded like David, Carolina Foothills, had some familiarity with this. Certainly their purple color scheme was something that the ladies from in our group enjoyed. Well, Jerry, I've got a ton of pink foam, so I'd prefer to use that. Why do you think I should use Homosote instead of pink foam? Yeah, I run games. How did you make your shelving? I'd certainly like to have a little more information about that and about how that was done. I'm catching up with comments here. So I do plan to make shelving underneath the layout. I've got a ton of stuff to store under there. So this was looks like a baggage car or a mail car. This was not part of the consist that they had pulled together for their dinner train. I didn't really walk down this. It looks like there's a viewing car down at the end. They have a dome car here, which okay, cool. I Run Games. I look forward to seeing that, and I'll definitely subscribe now that you're here and I know who you are. So now, again, for those of you who weren't here at the start of the stream, I went to our friends here took us to. I'm in Durham, North Carolina presently, and our friends took us on the hour-plus drive to Pinehurst. They're big golf people, and they knew what a great time we'd had. I'm not planning on doing tortoise switch machines, Boxcar Jerry, but that's a very good idea about why I should prefer Homosote. I'm doing finger flick switches. And when we got to Pinehurst number 2, as we were driving up to the course, I saw the train, and I said, okay, I had no idea this was here. It's cool, and I'm going to get a lot of pictures of it. And it's, as you can see from this photo, the equipment is very well maintained, really first class, really first class. And here is, they had kind of a push-pull setup. They had this unit and a similar unit in terms of age on the front and the back of the dinner train that they were getting to run. And honestly, I looked for a builder's plate on this, and you all can tell me where I should be looking for builder's plate. I went around this because I wanted to identify the type of locomotive that it is, and I couldn't do that. I'm not really that knowledgeable about locomotive ID and spotting. And so, is it an F unit? Is it an E unit? You need at least cork under Caboose Hobbies ground throws. Yeah, I'm not planning on using the ground throws, Rusty. I'm just going to do finger flick. But why was that necessary? Why did you need that cork under there? And I'm wondering, I don't know how noisy the river is going to be just running on the foam. I could certainly... Hello, Gary Shanks. Welcome aboard. Good to see you, sir. Floyd, the renovations are coming along okay. I'm not sure you were here when I talked about the box sign out front and what I was doing out there, but I'm getting ready to start building the layout and getting the things that are stacked up around the shop into storage. I'm building some shelving in certain parts of the in some parts of the shop. As those of you, and I'm going to make, this is Sidetrack Sunday, so I'm going to do a quick sidetrack here. If you've seen my community posts, you've seen that I got some material that I'm going to use to make shelving and things. Interestingly, there's a gentleman who currently lives in my little townhome community of 12 units who had a beautiful layout, fully scenic and done, set in Germany, an HO layout with Märklin equipment. Okay, James, I will check out the your tanker challenge, and I'm reading Dave's message now about this Aberdeen train. I see. Okay, yeah. Well, this is super colorful, so I guess Dave, they have a freight operation as well. And that's interesting. You can see this thing was painted beautifully. I mean, my 2-year-old truck doesn't have the shine on it that this locomotive has. But again, whoever can tell me where I should have looked for a builder's plate that would have told me the model of this locomotive, I'd love to have that. I looked around. I thought I looked around the entire locomotive and I couldn't find it, and I was frustrated, and so I left. But at any rate, back to my renovations. So Ulrich Mauser, this gentleman who lives a few doors down from me, has a really nice HO layout. And I had seen his layout a couple of years ago, but I moved away. And in the time I was gone, he finished the whole layout, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And it had a scenic catenary. It wasn't actually operating catenary wires, but it had catenary wires all around. It was really, and it was fully scenic as a Germany. It was German equipment. He's obviously German with a name like Ulrich Mauser. I have no idea whether Ulrich, if you're on this stream, please put a comment down there. And so Ulrich was moving, and so he had to take his layout apart, basically. And so he donated the cabinetry that he had made underneath his layout, as well as the 3/4-inch plywood boards that were the sub structure for his layout to me. And so I brought all that to the shop. So the first thing I have to do, the shop is definitely not to fire code right now because one of the main exit ways is blocked by a lot of that material. So I have to break some of that down, and then I will have some 3/4-inch plywood to make some shelving in certain parts of the in the kitchen area of the shop, and then I'll be able to store some things there, and then I hopefully will be able to get started working on some bench work. Someone earlier said to go to Lowe's to get the legs for the layout, and I'd like to hear more about that. I currently have 36 legs cut out of 2x4, and I have leg leveling feet to go on those, but the rest of the layout I was going to be supporting with kind of L-girder legs made out of 1x2 and 1x3, glued and screwed together to make a leg. So if you have some ideas about what I could do differently on the legs, I would certainly appreciate seeing that and hearing that. Okay, so Floyd says this is either an F7 or an F9. Yeah, I can't, what's the difference between the F units and the E units as a spotting feature? But yeah, this is obviously fantastically maintained, trained, beautiful colors. And here's a head-on view of that unit. And here's a view of the other side of that unit, the sun side of that unit. I spent a lot of time on the shady side. It was kind of hot out there. But you can see this is just an absolutely beautiful train. And it's followed by I've got a few more pictures. All right, so I'll get back to the historic train, but on the other side of the train, oh, the amount of the wheels. Okay, Floyd, very good. I had no idea. On the other side of the train, they have a modern locomotive, and someone can probably tell me what this is as well. And the prime mover has been removed from this, and it has been totally turned into, that's an E8. See, I never can tell the difference between the E's and the F's, Okay, so Ray is helping here. The E's are 6-wheel. But I see. Interesting. 3 axles versus 2 axles. I see. Okay, all right. So this thing is pretty crazy. Okay, now I'm back to the boxcar. This is a baggage car, it appears to me. This was the second car or the last car in the train, depending upon which way it's going. And I assume it's part of their dinner train operation. And I guess ACWR is their letters. So and here's this was a dinner car. It was being set up for dinner, and again, beautifully decorated. Now I'm kind of whipsawing you back and forth, but this is Sidetrack Sunday. So this is the bar opposite the baggage car there, and you can see it's basically they've been gutted of all of its engine work, and people are just sitting there, and they have a view on the other side of the train of the what's called the cradle, a little par 3 course a kind of a putt putt on steroids. Yeah, that's right, Mason Dixon. So, but if you had a spare engine shell or you had something that was really in bad shape, maybe you could do something like this on your model railroad. It would certainly be unique. So I thought it was kind of interesting. You can see there's the Pinehurst Clubhouse up the hill when you look past this thing. So, and they were storing kegs of beer in the area immediately behind the engine and underneath that upper deck. They were coming out of there with kegs. So it was kind of crazy, but super creative. And if you were to do something like this on your layout, you too would be super creative. So let me see here. So, okay, looking further down, there was a Vista Dome car in the dinner train makeup. Very funny, Andy. Very funny. And so they had a nice Vista Dome car in there. So this would be, honestly, I think this would probably be a really cool dinner train experience. I just, everything is really first class. Here's another view. I'm walking down the train. Here's another view of the Vista Dome car. So, and here's the engine that was on the other end. I guess that looks like another E unit because it's 3-axle trucks, it appears to me. I've now learned something today. Stormy Rails, hello, hello, how are you? Good to see you. And here's the front of that engine, and then there was a really bad slope to the left of this engine as we're looking at it head on, and so I didn't want to. That track is down a pretty steep slope, and I wasn't in really good footwear, so I didn't want to go down there. But man, these were just beautiful, just beautifully taken care of. So I'm finding that everything here in this area is very expensive, and obviously the golf course is very expensive. So I have a feeling this dinner car experience would be a little bit more pricey than what we got at the meet and greet in Canada this summer, which was a tremendous experience. It's hard to imagine it would be anywhere near as much fun as riding on a train full of YouTube friends. But I bet you it would be very good. I bet you it would be very good. So back to the party train here with these awnings on top, kind of crazy. But that was so that was my experience at the Aberdeen, Carolina, and Western Railroad, and it was really super enjoyable. So now I've got to pivot to another topic, and I guess what I'm going to pivot to is. I'm going to pivot to a little bit of 3D printing here and see if this will work. So, and I've got a few pictures here, some things that I've been 3D printing, and I know a lot of you are 3D printing. You're better 3D printers than me, and you have better printers than me. But what I am doing that's a little unique, and I know. No, Jerry, I did not ride the train. I was just there to see the golf course and to experience the clubhouse, and so I didn't ride the train. Sorry about that. But maybe I'll come back and do that at some time. I'm not sure. I had no idea it even existed. So what I've been doing on. I run games. I highly recommend getting a printer. I run games, and at $300, I have the Elegoo. It's a filament printer, an FDR printer, but at present it only does one color of filament. But a multicolor upgrade, I think, has been released or will be released soon. But for $300 and $10 of filament, you can learn about 3D printing for a month or more, printing things, and so it's really a lot of fun. So unless you're into 3D modeling and you know how to do 3D modeling and you want to spend a ton of time 3D modeling, it's hard to get models of things that you might want to put on your layout. Oh, Russ, I see you. Good, you got a printer, so welcome to the club. I'm really a newbie as well. But, well, I run games. The printer I've got is probably 18, it takes up about 18 inches square of worktop space, so it's not very big. So what I've been doing to expand my horizons is to, oh, Ray, that's an interesting print job you've got going there for sure. Very interesting. But I decided I wanted to make things for my layout, and I decided to use AI in order to create the models, the 3D models that I would print. And here on the screen, you see a selection. This is a good number of the things that I printed, but definitely not all. And you'll see there's a jersey barrier, which is very useful. Although you can find models of jersey barriers on Thingiverse and probably elsewhere. But this particular jersey barrier is a model that I created using AI. Okay, Floyd, I'll check your email out after the show. Thank you, sir. You see in the background there are some large plastic water tanks, and these tanks are very common in agriculture and industry around the United States. As I was driving from Pittsburgh to North Carolina, I saw several of these tanks out in the fields and stuff, so these things are fairly common. So those big white water tanks in the background. And the painted kind of in the middle distance here on the left is an oil storage bin that I have painted and decorated. I still have to do a used oil only sticker to go on it. In the middle there is a porta potty, and yes, you can get porta potty models on Thingiverse and elsewhere, but I wanted to have one that I could sell, frankly. And so I did my own, and it's slightly different from the ones that are on that are available elsewhere. Now, over kind of to the right here, the angular thing is a backup generator that goes outside an industrial or an office facility when there's a power failure. This thing will kick in and produce electric power for the office building. Again, I just used AI to generate the model for this, and it prints out pretty easily. Kind of in the background, a little out of focus, the one that looks a little bit like a pig, my brother loved that one because he said it was porcine in appearance, is, I think you will recognize that, is a vertical residential heating oil tank. So your houses on your layout that need to have oil heat, they could have that tank beside them. And behind that is a water tank that can be strapped down to the bed of a truck, a water tank. Now, I plan on printing that in translucent resin and maybe trying to simulate a level of fluid inside there. But for now, it came out pretty well. And in the foreground are three water-filled traffic barriers, kind of, a modern, I'll get to that, JD, in just a minute, about what program I'm using. And I'm going to demonstrate that program. But those are water-filled barriers that take the place of a concrete barrier, a pretty complicated shape that AI replicated pretty well and printed pretty well. So so this is an example of what I've been printing. Nothing too complex in the shapes. With a filament printer, there's only so much you can do. I have ordered a smaller nozzle for my printer. Maybe I'll be able to print some finer detail. But the software that I've been using is Meshy AI. And I know Tom Grassi uses this as well. And it is a pay service. It's about $15 a month to get this. I think I paid $182 for an annual subscription. And here you can see this. I just happen to have up this model that I generated of that traffic barrier, the water-filled traffic barrier. And you can see that it really did a great job. I'll try and rotate this around if I can. And you can see it's got the grooves on the bottom for the forklift lift. It's got a hole in the one side to link them together, so you could actually cut that pin out, replace it probably with a straight pin, and you could pin these things together just like the prototype. So to me, that's pretty amazing that it can do something like this out of one photograph. So to me, it's pretty amazing. So what I'm going to do, as we've discussed many times, the live demo is perilous. But I'm going to try and create a model live here using a photo that I have downloaded. And so we'll try that. And I may have to go to a graphics program and fix the image. But I'm going to try here and I'm going to try and drop a, I think I put it in downloads, yes. So here's a copy of a fuel oil storage tank. And so this is actually like somebody else's 3D rendering of this, but it's totally clean. It doesn't have any, and I know this may not be super visible to you, I apologize. But at least you can see it below my picture here. And I'm going to try, and all you do is hit generate on this. Now, this wording underneath the tank may cause a problem. We'll see what happens. I'm going to click remove background. There is a way to remove the background here. Let me see if I can find that. I'm not seeing the remove background. There's a helper, examples, tutorials. Oh, there we go. Remove background. Maybe this will remove. I'm clicking remove background. Maybe that will remove that lettering and just leave us with the tank itself. It did. Okay. So now we have the tank itself, and all I'm going to do is click generate. So that's my image. I want to have a 3D model of it. I'm just going to hit generate. And it might take a little while for this to come up. It depends upon how busy the servers are at Meshy. But we'll see what happens. If I hit generate again, I may have to delete one of my models, so we'll see what's going on. So while we're waiting for that magic to happen, you can see up here where I'm circling my cursor, that's my count of credits that I bought. I've been generating quite a few models. So let me go up in my assets. I think we may be able to see what's going on here. That water-filled barrier was quite a ways down. Okay, so here's the 3D model that was created by Meshy AI, and I think you can see that is pretty detailed out of one picture. So right, so if I want to download this, I'm gonna now download this and slice it in the slicing program for my printer, which is the next step in the process. And so I don't know the exact dimensions of this tank. And so if I did, I don't know what to guess about the height. I'm going to guess that this thing is probably, 10 feet high. Maybe 10 feet high. And so but for the sake of this demonstration, I'm gonna do it easily. What you would have to do is, if it was 10 feet high, you'd say, okay, 120 inches. What's 127 divided by 87.1? And then put that number in to get the size. No, you spend your credits. You spend your credits, JD. I don't know if they, replenish your credits. You pay for a year's use. What if you run out of credits? I don't know how that works. But it's only 10 or 20 credits to generate a model. So 1,260 credits is about 126 models. That's a lot of models. So, okay, thank you. Dave did so it's 1.38 inches. So now I'm just going to hit the download button here. And here there's a resize button. So I can hit resize. I'm going to change the scale to inches. I'm then going to put 1.38 inches in here. And then I'm going to download it. And this resizes the image so that the height is 1.38 inches. So it's 10 feet high in HO scale. Now I'm going to download it. And it's now downloading to my computer. Thank you, Dave, for doing that math for me. I know I've run over here. It's 9 o'clock. I'm going to move through this pretty quickly. I will say that sometimes these models don't work. You come up with a model that has got holes in it, and I don't know enough how to fix it. I thought that there was a mesh mixer program that was going to help me fix these holes, and it wouldn't work. But we'll go out and look at that model in a minute. But here I want to show you something that I just did recently. I think you all probably recognize this object is a bagged ice cooler that goes out in front of and I showed you the actual, or I meant to anyway. This is the actual print. I don't know if I'm getting focus or not on that, but I downloaded this one. I had to remove the word ice from the side and from the cooler unit on the top, but other than that, it worked perfectly. It worked perfectly. Came out perfectly. All right, so now I'm going to go into my slicer program, and hopefully this won't crash my computer. It won't freeze me. We'll see. But yeah, this came out and this is child's play. If I can do this, you can do this, okay? I'm waiting for my slicer. I have an Elegoo printer, so I'm using their slicing program. Okay, Tom, I'll take a look at that. 3D Builder. Okay. All right, so I'm going to open up a new project here. I'm going to import a 3D model, and I'm going to go to my downloads. Where did it download? I've got to see where it may have downloaded to. Let me see. Shoot. Sorry about that. I'm going to have to go back and see where this downloaded. It may have downloaded to my G drive. So let me see. So you can see these are all the files I tried to create. Let me see if it downloaded here into the oil storage tank area. I'm not finding it. Sorry about this. I thought I was better prepared than this. Oh, look, it's GLB. I don't know why it's a GLB format. That may have been my problem. So, sorry about that. Let me go through this quickly again here. Oh, wait. I don't want to download this file. I want to download this file. So, let me choose an STL. I'm resizing. Inches. .38, and I will download again. Hopefully that'll appear in my downloads in a file format that I can use. Okay, my download's being scanned. I'll go back to my slicer software and we'll see how quickly this file downloads. So I'm going to import STL files. I'll go to my downloads. Okay, so there's my folder. Hopefully it's fully downloaded, and I'm going to try and open this. All right, so there it is in my. There's the file in my slicer, and it looks pretty good. It doesn't, based on what I can see visually about these files, this looks pretty good. Now, of course, printing on a filament printer with this oriented in this direction could be a problem. And so, you could potentially print it in this, but I'm going to go ahead and preview. When I click the preview button here, I know you can't see that. It's fine. I'm clicking preview, and now it's actually slicing, and I'll get some error warnings if it doesn't slice. See, okay, so it's got some problems. It's got some missing layers in it. So that's an issue. It probably won't print properly, even though it modeled out very well. So what I could do is try to rotate this, and I may struggle rotating it. Now I'm getting it done because I don't have a good mouse. But now I've rotated on its end. It might print better this way. I'm going to auto connect it to the, oh, maybe not. And then I'm going to go ahead and make sure supports are enabled. In this vertical format, it might come out a little weird. I'm going to select tree supports. I had to download the slicer this morning, and so it doesn't have all the presets that I usually use. But I will look for the 3D Builder program. But let's see if this is better in It doesn't. It still has some problems, this file. So Thomas is telling me to download the 3D Builder program, but honestly, we're already at 10 minutes after 9, and Thomas, I don't understand your message there about do you have a person in STL file? I use that to size my models. Oh, I see. Oh, that's a good idea. You have a human figure that you know is 6 foot tall, for example, and you can use that to scale figures. That's a great idea, Tom. So at any rate, I'm not going to take you any further on this. I will look at I doubt very seriously there's a 3D builder program on this work laptop that I have here, Tom. It's um, oh, okay, Ray. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. So I'm not gonna do any more of this. I don't think. Oh, I see. And Dave is saying you can scale it in the slicer. Okay, I've been scaling it in Meshi, and that works fine. This this model that we're looking here will print out a 10-foot high in HO scale. So but maybe if I downloaded it, a lot of time the Meshi models, the models that Meshi creates, are sometimes way too big for the build plate, and so you can't even really slice them. You have to make some size changes. So I'm still learning. I just wanted to I just wanted to establish in your minds that there is a way for you without learning. You might be right, Tom. Okay, Tom. I'm going to go ahead and look for it. uh, where's my. Oh, there we go. So, 3D Builder. That's searching the web. So it looks like it doesn't come up when I search my laptop. So it's not actually on the machine, but it is on the web. And so I could download that and then run that to clean up the file. So um, I don't know which one of these I should try to download. I guess Adobe is a reputable source. I don't want to sign into Adobe. The only people I dislike more than the duck are Adobe. I so I guess I could look on the Windows. I could look for the 3D app, 3D Builder app. Sorry, Russ. Yeah, I know if you're not into 3D printing, this is kind of out there, and I don't want to just blow people away. So, is the 3D Builder download from Softonic the one that I'm looking for, Thomas? Has the game just started, James? I apologize. I've been talking too much here, so I'm starting to lose my voice. So I can go back to searching my computer. I'm going to follow Thomas's suggestion here. Bing. Well, honestly, guys, I'm not gonna find that. Just know that Tom Grossi suggests that you use 3D Builder to fix broken meshes. All I wanted to establish for those of you who are like me, new to 3D printing, or haven't gotten into the 3D printing game, that you don't have to. Sorry, Tom. I'm gonna end the stream here. I am a house guest here, so I need to spend some time with the host and hostess. They've been kind enough to sacrifice a ton of the day today for me to get ready to do this stream and to do this stream. And I'm in her office right now doing the stream. So, Dwight, I'm not running StreamYard, so I can't invite somebody up onto my stream. And again, I need to end the stream now. But if you all are really interested in exploring this further, let me know in the comments. Send me a message. My email is on my channel. We could have a separate stream about this. It doesn't have to be Sidetrack Sunday, because there are a lot of folks for whom this is not necessarily that interesting because they're not into 3D printing yet. But I just want to urge those of you who aren't into 3D printing that you can get a very good printer from Elegoo for $300, and you can get Meshy AI for $15 a month and create your own 3D models that are completely usable on your layout. And so it's a very exciting time. I'm sure this technology is going to really increase and be better. And thanks, Count. I have one more thing to show all you all. With John signing off, I'm reminded of this. Let me find, I want to show you the schedule for next month for STS. So hopefully I can find that quickly and put that up here. There it is. So here is the schedule for STS. So you can see that John has got November 2nd. Dave at DB Tech has got the 9th. I have got the 16th. Brian at Iron Horse is doing 11/23. And Ray, the pod father, or the casting father, whatever we call him, has got the 30th. As Dave is saying in the comments, there are a lot of people besides Elegoo that Creality, Bamboo is BAMBU. They're all good printers, but honestly, to get the same capability at Bamboo, you're going to probably spend $700, whereas at Elegoo, you're going to spend $300. So the choice is yours. Okay, Sparky, you want more 3D printing for dummies? I think that can be arranged. Creality sucks, Dwight says. I don't know. But yeah, so here's the schedule for shows for coming up in November. And hopefully Ray or John are still on there, and I don't have the schedule for the rest of this month. So I don't know who's coming up next week and who's coming up the week after that, but this is the schedule for November. So okay. Well, those of us who are into 3D printing, I'll probably arrange some sort of a stream where we can get together, and yeah, I'll call you, Tom, and maybe we'll get together a conference call. We can have Dave, we can have Ray, John, Tom. We can figure out a 3D printing for dummies kind of thing. Maybe that could be a regular part of our Sidetrack Sunday stream, but I do think it's important. It's going to be, I'm going to go back to my full screen here. .3D printing is here to stay. It's a big part of modeling. And so those of us who are new need to learn more. Like me, I'm new. Those of us who aren't in it at all need to dip their toe in the water and know that they're going to have support, and that you can get this done. And so we'll get working on this together. So oh, you were lurking from the start, Sparky. Come on, brother. But at any rate, thank you all for your attention. I'm glad that the 3D printing didn't turn too many people off. We still got 25 folks watching. We were over 40 at one point, and so I thank you. I love doing this stuff. I appreciate the rest of the Sidetrack Sunday crew allowing me to be part of the team and to participate in this. So until next time, this is Bob Johnson with PK&W Model Works signing off. And remember to keep on modeling and to keep on printing if you've got a printer. And we will see you next Sunday for the show. I'm looking to see if anybody has filled in the blanks and told me who the show is going to be. Who's going to be doing the show next week. But at any rate, thanks again. I'm going to go ahead and finish the stream off, but I really appreciate it. Have a good night. Have a productive week. Make sure you plan to get some modeling done and that you get that modeling done in addition to everything else that's going on in your life. And happy Halloween. Bye-bye until next time.